$900, Carla. First of the month. Don't be late. I looked up from my laptop to see my mother standing in the doorway of what used to be my childhood bedroom. Her arms were crossed, her face set in that expression I'd come to know so well over the past 5 years. Disappointment mixed with barely concealed disgust. I know, Mom. I get paid Friday. I'll transfer it. Good. She glanced past me, to where Jake was playing quietly on the floor with his toy dinosaurs, then back to me. And keep the mistake quiet during your father's prayer time. We have standards in this house. The mistake, not Jake, not your grandson. The mistake. She left without another word, pulling the door closed behind her. I heard her footsteps fade down the hallway, heard the sound of the TV turning on in the living room, a room Jake and I weren't allowed in unless we were cleaning it. Jake looked up at me with those big brown eyes. Mommy, why does Grandma call me that? He was 5 years old. 5. And already he knew something was wrong with how they treated him. Don't worry about it, baby. Keep playing with your dinosaurs. I turned back to my laptop, pretending to work, but the words on the screen blurred. $900 a month, $700 for rent, $200 for utilities. I'd been paying it since I was 6 months pregnant, sleeping in the same twin bed, trying to figure out how my life had gone so wrong so fast. How did I end up here? Let me tell you my story. I got pregnant when I was in my 3rd year of architecture school. His name was Landon, and when I told him about the baby, he looked at me like I just told him I had a terminal illness. I can't do this, Carla. I'm not ready for a kid. I can't afford this. Then that's it. 3 days later, he was gone. Deleted his social media, changed his number, his family moved out of state. I tried everything to find him, called his friends, his relatives, even drove by his old apartment. It was like he'd been erased from existence. I was alone, pregnant, and my scholarship required full-time enrollment. I couldn't do full-time school with a baby coming and no support. I had to make a choice. So I went back home. My parents are deeply religious, like deacon of the church, never miss a Sunday, what will the congregation think, religious. When I showed up on their doorstep, 6 weeks pregnant and crying, my father's first words weren't, "Are you okay?" or "We'll get through this." They were, "Do you have any idea what you've done to this family?" They let me stay. But there were conditions: $700 a month for rent, $200 for utilities. I had to quit school and find work immediately. I had to stay in my room as much as possible. When church friends came over, I was away at school. When neighbors asked questions, I was traveling for work. The shame I'd brought on the family had to be contained. I found a work-from-home job doing marketing for a small company. It paid enough to cover what my parents demanded and keep food in my stomach. Barely. Not enough to save, never enough to leave, and my parents made sure I knew it. "You're lucky we're even letting you stay here," Dad said more than once. "Most parents would have kicked you out. We're doing you a favor." A favor that cost me $900 a month. When Jake was born, I thought maybe things would change. Maybe when they held their grandson, saw his tiny fingers and heard his first cry, something would soften in them. My mother came to the hospital once, looked at Jake and his bassinet, said, "He has your nose," and left. My father never came at all. At home it got worse. Jake couldn't play outside. "What will the neighbors think?" Mom said. "They'll know he's the mistake." He couldn't play in the living room or the kitchen or anywhere my parents might be. We stayed in our bedroom mostly, me working on my laptop while Jake played quietly on the floor. He learned early to be invisible. Don't run in the house, don't make noise, don't bother your grandparents. They never called him by his name, not once in 5 years. It was always the mistake or the boy or him. Keep him out of the kitchen, I'm cooking. Or make sure he's quiet during prayer time. Or, don't let him answer the door. I watched my son learn to shrink himself, to apologize for existing, to ask permission to get a glass of water in his own grandparents' house. And I hated myself for not being able to do anything about it. I applied for apartments, but with my income, I couldn't afford rent and childcare. I looked into assistance programs, but made just slightly too much to qualify. I was trapped in this perfect little prison of my parents' making, paying them for the privilege of being treated like garbage. Every month, same routine. First of the month, Mom would show up to remind me about the $900, as if I could forget. As if it wasn't seared into my brain, the price of having nowhere else to go. Jake had just turned 5 when everything changed. Mom made pot roast. That should have been my first clue. She only made pot roast for special occasions. Sit down, Carla. We need to talk. Jake was at kindergarten, thank God. Whatever this was, I didn't want him to hear it. I sat. Your sister and David are moving back in. I blinked. Iris, but they live in that penthouse. David quit his job. He's starting his own company. She said it with pride like it was some noble endeavor. They can't afford that apartment anymore. This is still Iris's home. My stomach dropped. Okay, so we need you to find somewhere else to live. End of the month. 3 weeks. She was giving me 3 weeks. Mom, I can't afford. You've had 5 years, Carla. 5 years to get on your feet. Your sister needs this space. She and David will need the extra bedrooms when they start their family. When they start their family, a real family, not like mine. Not a mistake. Please, I just need a little more time. End of the month. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. She stood up and walked out, leaving me sitting at the kitchen table, my whole world crumbling around me. Of course, Iris, the golden child. The one who did everything right, graduated top of her class, married a successful man, made my parents proud. She got the penthouse, the admiration, the love. She was the daughter who lifted the family name. I was the one who brought shame. So when she needed to come home, I had to go. That night, after Jake fell asleep, I sat on the floor of our room and cried. Not because I'd missed this house, I wouldn't, but because I had no idea where we were going to go. Then I thought of Kay. Kay answered on the second ring. Hey, what's up? They're kicking me out. Silence. Then what? I explained. The whole thing. Iris coming back, end of the month, nowhere to go. Pack your stuff. You're moving in with me. Kay, I can't just... Yes, you can. Carla, I live alone in a 4-bedroom house that I inherited from my parents. Do you know how ridiculous that is? I rattle around in here like a ghost. Her voice was fierce. You and Jake are moving in. You help with utilities? That's it. Don't argue with me. Kay had been my best friend since kindergarten. We'd planned to be architects together, start our own firm someday. Life had taken us in different directions. She was living her dream, and I was here. But she'd never once made me feel bad about it. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. You should have called me years ago. Now pack. 3 days later, Kay showed up with her SUV. We loaded everything Jake and I owned, which wasn't much, while my parents watched from the porch. They didn't help, didn't say goodbye, just watched. Iris and David weren't even there. Still at the penthouse, probably. As we pulled away, Jake pressed his face to the car window. Are we going to Auntie Kay's forever? For a while, baby. Good. I like Auntie Kay. She's nice to us. In the rearview mirror, I saw my mother turn and walk inside. My father followed. The door closed. I didn't look back. Living with Kay changed everything. For the first time in 5 years, Jake could play outside. He could run through the house. He could laugh loudly and not worry about disturbing anyone. Kay treated him like he was her own nephew. She took him to the park, taught him to ride a bike, never once made him feel like he was in the way. You know, she said one night after Jake was asleep, you were supposed to be an architect. You're brilliant at design, at seeing the big picture. That ship sailed. No, it didn't. It just took a detour. She poured us both wine. You're amazing at marketing, Carla. The way you see things, understand people, tell stories. That's a gift too. I'd never thought about it that way. Marketing was just the job I'd fallen into, the thing that paid the bills. But Kay was right. I was good at it. Really good. Over the next 5 years, I worked my way up. Small company to bigger company to even bigger company. Always from home, always with flexibility for Jake. I saved every penny I could. And then when Jake was 10, I bought us a house. Nothing fancy, 3 bedrooms, small yard, normal neighborhood. But it was ours. Mine and Jake's. I'd never been so proud of anything in my life. I never dated, never had time, never had interest. Jake was my focus, my whole world. Everything I did was for him. My family, in those 5 years, not a single call, not a text, not a birthday card for Jake. Nothing. I'd accepted it. The bridge wasn't just burned, it was ash. So when my phone rang on a random Tuesday afternoon and I saw Iris on the screen, I almost dropped it in shock. I should have let it go to voicemail. I answered. Carla, good, you picked up. Iris's voice, crisp and professional. I'm calling about our wedding anniversary party, 15 years, Grand Hotel Ballroom. You need to be there. What? Mom and Dad need to show the church that we're a complete, happy family. You understand. Wear something appropriate, and bring the boy. The boy, not Jake. 5 years later, and she still couldn't say his name. Iris, I don't think. Click. She'd hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone, anger rising in my chest. 5 years of silence, and now I was supposed to show up and play happy family? I called my mother. Hello? Cautious, like she knew. I'm not coming to Iris's party. Carla? I'm not part of that family anymore, haven't been for 5 years. I don't care what your church friends think. Please. Her voice broke. Just this once, just one afternoon. We need this. I should have said no, should have hung up and blocked the number, but something in her voice, something desperate and small, made me weak. Fine, just this once. Fine, just this once. I closed my eyes. His name is Jake, Mom. Silence. Then, bring him. She hung up. The Grand Hotel Ballroom was everything I expected. Elegant, expensive, decorated in silver and white. Jake tugged on my hand as we walked in. Mom, this is really fancy. I know, buddy. Stay close to me, okay? We found the family table easily. Front and center, marked with a little silver placard, immediate family. My parents were already there, laughing with David's parents. David sat between Iris and his sister, the three of them deep in conversation. They glanced up when we sat down, nodded once, went back to talking. That was it. No hello, no good to see you, not even a glance at Jake. We sat in silence while conversation flowed around us. I tried once, commenting on the flowers. My mother looked at me, nodded, turned back to David's mother mid-sentence. I tried again, asking Iris about work. She made eye contact for half a second, nodded, resumed her conversation with David's sister. Jake shifted in his seat. I put my arm around him, pulling him close. When they started taking photos, the photographer directed everyone to gather by the cake. We stood at the very end of the group, practically falling out of frame. No one suggested we move closer. No one made space. Click. Another perfect family photo. Back at the table, I watched my parents laugh at David's father's jokes. Watched Iris throw her head back, radiant in silver, David's hand on her shoulder. Watched David's sister show my mom something on her phone, both of them cooing over it. And I watched my 10-year-old son sit perfectly still, hands folded in his lap, trying so hard to be good, to be invisible, to not be a problem. Just like he'd learned to do when he was 5. My heart shattered. Jake leaned in close, his whisper barely audible. Mommy, I don't like it here. People are mean. Can we go home? I stood up immediately. Come on, baby. I turned to Iris and David, forcing a smile. Congratulations on your anniversary. They looked up, nodded in unison, went back to their conversation. We walked out with our heads high. My aunts and uncles called out to us from their tables. They'd always been kind, always thought my parents were fools. They hugged Jake, told me I looked great, said to call them sometime. In the car, Jake was quiet. Then, I'm sorry, Mom. I pulled over right there. For what? For making you leave. I know it was important. Jake, look at me. I turned in my seat to face him. You didn't make me leave. I chose to leave because you're the most important person in my life, and I will never let anyone make you feel unwelcome. Do you understand? They should be sorry. Not you. Never you. He nodded, fighting tears. We drove home in silence. I knew then, with absolute certainty, that there would be no healing. They hadn't wanted us there to rebuild anything. They'd wanted us there to complete their picture, to show their church friends everything was perfect. We were props, accessories, never again. 2 years later, everything changed. Kay had been working on her makeup line for years. She'd always had an incredible eye for color, for what worked on different skin tones. She started small, selling online and at local boutiques. But her products were legitimately good, better than good. I'd been helping her with marketing on the side, social media posts, influencer outreach, brand messaging. It was fun, creative, different from my corporate marketing job. Then one day, Kay showed up at my door with blueberry cheesecake, a bottle of wine, and the biggest grin I'd ever seen. I just landed a contract with Sephora. I screamed. Actually screamed, which brought Jake running. What happened? Auntie Kay is about to be famous, that's what happened. National distribution. It was huge. I need help, Kay said after we'd toasted. Real help, I can't do this alone. The marketing for this launch is going to be massive, and I need someone I trust. Someone brilliant. She looked at me. You want to hire me? I want to partner with you. 50-50. You handle all marketing, social media, influencers, branding, everything. I handle product development and production. We split it all down the middle. I stared at her. Kay, you're the reason I got here, Carla. Those viral Instagram posts, you wrote them. That collaboration with Beauty Babe 101, you reached out to her. Every successful thing I've done, you've been behind it. She grabbed my hand. Say yes. You can still work from home, make your own hours, everything you need. I looked at Jake, who was sneaking bites of cheesecake. Looked at Kay, who'd saved me when I had nowhere to go. Looked around my little house that I'd worked so hard for. Yes, absolutely yes. The next 6 months were insane. We partnered with 5 major beauty influencers, launched a TikTok campaign that went viral, got featured in Vogue's beauty section. Our sales didn't just grow, they exploded. I worked 14-hour days sometimes, but from home, on my schedule. Jake was proud of me. He'd tell his friends his mom was a business partner in a cosmetics empire, which always made me laugh. The money was really good. I paid off my mortgage. Started a serious college fund for Jake, bought a reliable car, helped Kay expand production. Then we got the call. Beauty guru Bella, 10 million subscribers, the biggest beauty channel on YouTube, wanted to interview us. She wants to feature Kay's Cosmetics as her brand of the month, our PR person said. This is massive. This could triple your sales. The interview was scheduled for the following week. We'd go to her studio, talk about the brand, our partnership, our vision. It would be filmed and posted to her 10 million subscribers. I should have known my family would see it. The video went live on a Thursday. Meet the women behind Kay's Cosmetics, the best makeup line you've never heard of. Bella was amazing. She asked about our products, our partnership, how we met. Kay told the story of how we'd been friends since kindergarten, how I'd helped her from the beginning. Then Bella turned to me. Carla, you have such an interesting perspective on marketing. What's your background? I should have kept it vague. Should have just talked about my corporate experience. But I didn't. I'm a single mom, I said. I had my son when I was young, had to quit architecture school. I needed work I could do from home, so I fell into marketing. Turns out I was good at it. That's incredible. So you built this whole career while raising your son alone? Yeah. He's 12 now. He's actually the reason I work so hard. I want to show him that setbacks don't define you. That you can build something beautiful even when life doesn't go according to plan. Bella smiled. That's inspiring. And now you're business partners with your best friend, building this empire together. That's the kind of story people need to hear. The video got 2 million views in the first 24 hours. By the end of the week, it had 5 million. And apparently, one of those 5 million was Iris. My phone started ringing 2 days after the video posted. Iris. I declined. She called again. Declined. Then came a text. We need to talk. Call me. I blocked her number. My mother called. Blocked. My father called from a number I didn't recognize. Carla, please, we just want to talk. I hung up and blocked that number too. Then the emails started. Dad, we saw you on YouTube. We're so proud of you. Can we have dinner and talk? Delete. Mom, we've been too hard on you. We'd like to make amends. Please call. Delete. Iris, from a new email. I don't know why you're being like this. We're family. Can't we move past old disagreements? Delete. They kept coming. Once a week, sometimes more. Always the same message. Now that you're successful, we want back in. For weeks, I just deleted them without reading. Then one came from my father with the subject line, "Please read this." Against my better judgment, I opened it. Carla, we're so proud of what you've accomplished. We always knew you had potential, even when things were difficult. We'd love to have you and Jake over for dinner. He's our grandson after all. We've missed you both. Let's put the past behind us and move forward as a family. Love, Dad. I read it 3 times. He's our grandson after all. The same grandson they called the mistake for 5 years. The same child they wouldn't let play outside because, what will the neighbors think? The same boy they ignored at a family party until he begged to leave. Now he was their grandson. Now they'd missed us. Now that there was something to gain, I opened a new email and started typing. To Mom, Dad, Iris. Subject, final response. Since you won't stop contacting me, I'll give you one reply. After this, any further contact will be considered harassment. I haven't forgotten how you treated me. How you made me pay $900 a month to live in my childhood bedroom while pregnant and alone. How you called my son the mistake for 5 years and never once used his name. How you made him stay in our room, quiet and invisible, because you were ashamed of him. I haven't forgotten how you kicked me out with 3 weeks' notice when Iris needed the house. How you never called, never texted, never sent a birthday card in 5 years. I especially haven't forgotten Iris's wedding anniversary. How you sat us at the family table and then ignored us. How you put us at the end of family photos. How you made my 10-year-old son feel so unwelcome that he whispered, "Can we go home, Mommy?" People are mean here. You didn't treat him like your grandson then. You treated him like an embarrassment. Now you've seen me on YouTube, and suddenly, you're proud. Suddenly Jake is your grandson after all. Suddenly you want family dinners and fresh starts. But here's the thing. You severed ties with me. You all burned that bridge long time ago. You kicked out your daughter and grandchild, even if you knew we don't have anywhere to go. You charged her rent while she struggled. You treated her child like he was invisible. You made it very clear that we were not part of your family. I'm just honoring your decision. I wonder what God thinks of all this. You pray every day, go to church every Sunday, worry so much about what the congregation thinks, act like the perfect Christian. But your hearts are full of hate. You looked at an innocent child and saw only shame. What do you think he makes of that? Here's my final word on this. I am not your daughter anymore. Jake is not your grandchild. It has been this way for years and I intend to keep it that way. You started this story. I'm closing the chapter. Any attempt to contact me or my son again will be met with legal action. Any attempt to damage our names or our business will result in a lawsuit. I can afford a very good lawyer now. Do not call, do not email, do not show up at my home or my business. We are done. I wish you both well, Mom and Dad. And Iris, I wish you well too. Goodbye, Carla. I read it over once, twice. Then I hit send. Then I blocked all their email addresses, blocked every phone number I had for them. Set up filters to automatically delete anything from their domains. I heard through my aunts what happened after Iris and David moved back in. Turns out David's innovative business idea never gained traction. 2 years in, and he still hadn't made a single sale. My parents, who'd been so proud of his entrepreneurial spirit, started suggesting, gently at first, then more insistently, that maybe he should look for a real job. You don't understand innovation, David would say. This takes time. You have to invest before you see returns. Invest. With whose money? My parents were now covering all the bills Iris and David couldn't pay. The same parents who demanded $900 a month from their pregnant, struggling daughter were now supporting their golden child and her husband for free. When Dad finally told Iris she needed to find work to help with expenses, Iris apparently looked at him with genuine shock. "You're being so mean," she said. "We're family. Family helps each other." Family helps each other. I laughed when my aunt told me that. Actually laughed. They still all live together, my aunt said. The house that was supposed to be filled with Iris and David's perfect future children. Instead, it's just the 4 of them, in chaos, constantly arguing about money. Mom and Dad's church friends eventually stopped asking where I was. They probably figured out the truth, that the complete, happy family was anything but. Meanwhile, Jake and I had dinner with Kay that night, celebrating our London expansion in our peaceful home that we'd built ourselves. Some people get exactly what they deserve. Could we rebuild someday? Maybe, if they actually changed, if they spent years earning back trust. If they truly understood what they'd done, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Some families you're born into, some you build yourself. I'd chosen the latter. And I'd never been happier. And there you have it. Sometimes the family we choose is stronger than the family we're born into. If this story moved you, drop a comment. I love hearing your thoughts. Consider subscribing if you want more stories of strength and second chances. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time.
If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Don't forget to follow for more content just like this. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.